Hi, welcome back, you beautiful souls. This is James, also known as the Only Zerg. In our last episode to this What If Deku had Zenkais, we had ended off with All Might offering to train the boys after what Deku did for him. Deku kind of healed him up a little bit and put a little bit more pep in his step, if you would say. He went from being able to do 3 hours to 6 to 8 hours, depending on how much he strains himself. And Deku says, like, after healing, after his ability, you do have a recovery time that you have to go through, and if you overexert yourself, as he's and this is retconning a little bit that I forgot to mention, as he's pointing to his shoulder, and All Might sees a scar on his shoulder. And Deku said, "Yeah, I kind of learned the." No, it wasn't Deku. Katsuki has like a scar on his shoulder. And he's like, "Yeah, I didn't. We learned that the hard way." Kind of went through. So All Might has offered them, and he's going to be training them at Deku Beach. He gives them the order of cleaning up the beach, and they kind of accomplish this in 2 months' time, considering both of them have been working out. Katsuki has been lifting more weights than what he normally does in canon, simply because Deku never works out, except when he's like training, which is just conditioning training is all he does. He doesn't lift any weights, and he gets stronger and stronger the more he trains. And it's infuriating Katsuki, but Katsuki is more driven in this. Like, he has a greater drive to get better, to be the best. Because there's times where Deku is stronger, and then Katsuki comes back in one of their spars a couple of months later and beats Deku, and this process kind of repeated itself over the years. And it's just how they kind of bond, because they don't really have much interests that align with each other, but they both want to be like number one heroes, so they have that rivalry between the two. And at this point in the story, they're proper rivals, because even when Izuku was getting bullied, he still Katsuki was kinda, but not really, Izuku's friend. And then once the Zenkai started getting in a year after that is when like they really started to really cement their rivalry. So that being said, we're going to cut our story to about 3 months before the entrance exam. Deku and Katsuki have just finished a couple of weeks prior. Like, I would say a week and a half prior to this date. So Deku and Katsuki are sparring, and Katsuki lands a crushing blow on Deku. I mean, like, it topples Deku over, and he's coughing for breath. And when he finally catches his breath, he coughs up some blood, and he's like, "Man, Kachan, you got me. I think you broke another rib. I think you broke a rib," says Deku in a labored breath. And you just hear All Might, "Midoriya, are you okay?" As he's walking towards Izuku. And Katsuki just says, "I think I broke another one of his ribs." "Wait, Another, exclaims All Might in a surprised tone. In Izuku speaks up. It's like, yeah, Kachan broke several of my bones over the past few years. Yeah, but every single time his sparkling ass gets stronger after he heals from them. It's kind of freaking annoying. Damn quirk it is. So, All Might, this is, it kind of shocks and makes some wires cross in All Might's head. He already thought that Izuku would be a good candidate just by what the conversation he had before the Sludge Villain and then what Izuku performed. He was already considering making Izuku his successor, and this kind of cemented it in his mind that this, like, hearing this, like, he gets stronger after he heals from an injury. The major drawback to One for All is the blowback on the user. So, All Might's not dumb. The gear is kind of winning in his head, and he thinks, maybe he would be a perfect successor. And in any case, he says to the two, we should get you to a hospital, young Midoriya. And so All Might makes sure that they get to a hospital. Izuku is called his mom. And when Inko comes in, Izuku has already been treated and he's in a body cast. Not like a full-on cast, like he can still get up and move and walk around and everything. But he's in a cast to where, like, his right shoulder is immobilized. And it's at, like, a sort of a slight angle, so he can kind of grab things at an angle, and that way he doesn't have to constantly use his left arm to, like, pick stuff up. But they tell him that he's going to have it's going to be 2.5 months recovery. Every single thing that they've done will help him heal up. And to the best of their ability, unless a certain somebody heals him, says one of the nurses, it won't get any better. And Izuku's is thinking about this. He's like, damn, I'm gonna miss out on 2.5 months of training. Damn it, Katsuran's gonna get an even bigger lead. And then Izuku begins to think, and he's like, wait, when I looked up, calming your mind, controlling your body. So Izuku makes plans to, like, focus on meditating and being more introspective into his mind. Which, we all know from DBZ, that mind training does help raise your abilities, because that's pretty much all Piccolo does. But that's a whole different level. So this is going to help Izuku out in the long run. And as he's getting up and he's leaving, he tells his mom that he's going to go outside because he hasn't been outside in a few days. He wants some fresh air. And his mom's like, okay, sweetie, but don't go too far. Like, I still have some paperwork to finish up, and I'll be right outside in a couple of minutes, okay? And he's okay, Mom, I got it. And he goes outside. And when he gets outside, there's a girl, like, sitting there in a wheelchair, and she's crying. And Izuku gets this look of concern, and he walks up to the girl and, in a very concerned manner, asks her, it's like, hey, what's wrong? In a very inquisitive but really concerned presence. And the girl, like, kind of jumps a little bit, and then she sees, like, this boy with green hair looking at her, and the way he said it, she's like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get freaked out. It's just... And she looks down and Izuku, like, says again, and he's like, hey, like, seriously, what's wrong? Maybe I can help out. And the girl says, I burnt my left side, and the doctors say that I'm not going to be healed in time for... I'm gonna miss out on the UA entrance exam. And Izuku, like, she wipes away the tears. She sees Izuku take a few steps and go to, like, grab her while his hands are glowing. And she's like, what are you doing? And then Izuku collapses to a knee for a couple of seconds and then stands back up. And he's like, man, I've got to learn how to do that better. Oh, I think I healed you. And the girl's like, what do you mean? As she, like, picks her arm up, and she's noticed that her left side of her body doesn't writhe in pain. And she's like, thank you. As she's, like, taking off the bandages, she notices that she's not even scarred, like the doctor said she would be. And she's like, what's your name? And so they introduce themselves, and Izuku says, my name's Midoriya Izuku. And what's your name? And the girl says, my name is Todoroki Shota. Yes, that I'm going there with this one. This is going to be a Deku X Shoto with Fem Shoto. So as they're talking, like, she's getting up and she starts taking off the bandages. At this point, a very large man walks out the hospital door, screaming at the nurses and doctors. Is like, I can't believe you guys can't do anything more. Do you understand who she is? And Shota just kind of, like, put palm faces, and it's like, damn fucking idiot kind of manner. And then he turns around and he actually sees his daughter taking bandages off. He runs out of, Shota, what are you doing? Sorry about that. Okay, so this large man is, like, yelling at his daughter. Is like, Shota, what are you doing? We need to keep those on before we go see her. And Izuku's a little freaked out, and the man's like, get away from my daughter. And Shota, like, speaks up. It's like, Dad, stop it. I'm fine. This boy, he has a healing quirk? Endeavor looks at the boy and sees the cast and is like, then why doesn't he use it on himself? And this is when Izuku pipes up and he's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to use my quirk in public. To answer your question, I can't heal myself. And the man just looks at the boy, and he's like, I'm sorry, but what's your name? And Shota's like, his name's Midoriya, Dad. God. And Endeavor looks at the boy, and Inko comes running out, and she's apologizing, like, I'm sorry. And then Izuku gets a good look at the man, and he's like, wait, you're Endeavor? And the man goes, yeah? And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. Again, thank you for helping Shota out. And he says, sucks you can't heal yourself. You'd probably want to get rid of that as soon as possible. And Izuku's like, no, actually, it gives me time to focus on my training for the UA entrance exam. I have a lot of things to work on, and I haven't gotten complete control over my abilities yet, and I think I need a time to sit and meditate and think about a few things. I've been pushing myself like crazy the past 5 years. I'm a late bloomer. My quirk didn't come in until I was like 10 years old. But we as the viewers know he was 8. So Endeavor's intrigued by this boy, and he's like, "Whoa, to be blunt, I hate owing people favors. How about this? I can give you a recommendation to UA, like Shoto here." And Izuku's like, "Oh, that's fine. Like, I actually want to take the entrance exam myself. I want to prove to myself I deserve to be at UA. I know it's stupid, but it's something I gotta do for myself." And this makes Endeavor, like, respect the young man. And he's like, "Well, at least let me buy you and your mom, like, dinner sometime. To thank you for this, and for an apology. In any case, we better get going, Shota. Your mom's been calling me the whole time. Like, she's blaming me for pushing you, and all this other stuff. It's quite annoying." And Shota, like, face palms again. It's like, "Dad, come on!" And she hands Izuku a piece of paper, and she's like, "Text me sometime. It'd be nice to keep in touch. And who knows, I may need your help again," as she, like, kind of winks at him. And Izuku gets a little flustered by this. And Yinko's just kind of having that, "oh my god" moment. Like, my little Izuku's getting older. He's no longer my little baby kind of moment happening. And she's on the ride home. Izuku's like been completely quiet, and his mom is rightly so. He's rightly so, because his mom's been asking him questions, and he finally speaks up. And he's like, "Mom, she's kind of cool. Like, we have the same interest, and we want to be heroes for the same reason. We want people to be better than what they are." And he's just thinking, like, in the back of his mind, though, he's thinking, it's like, she has to be strong if she's Endeavor's kid. And she went that far in training? Oh my god. He quickly grabs, like, his phone, and he texts Shota. He's like, "Hey, I don't know if you remember, but you gave me your number, and I wanted to say you should probably not overdo things." Because he forgot to tell her about the recovery period. And he says it'll probably take a week or so, but she'd probably take it easy, because if you overexert yourself, you can pretty much undo, like, all the damage that was healed. And she, like, Shota's, like, shocked by this, and she's kind of blushing a little bit. And her older brother says, "Sho, what's up?" And he notices the text, and it's like, "Oh, who is this?" And then Shota's older sister says, "Is it a boy?" And this makes Shota turn a little bit more redder. And then Shota's other brother says, "Yep, definitely a boy. Oh boy, Dad's not gonna like this." So, with that, she texts Izuku back, "Thanks for the warning, and hope I see you at UA." And so we cut back to Izuku, and he's thinking, it's like, "Man, So 2.5 months, that leaves 2 weeks that I can kind of stretch and get back into the hang of things. Okay, that's totally doable. And with that, you beautiful souls, I'm going to end this part here. In the next part, we'll recover the last 3 months of training and the entrance exam. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already done so, and I will get the 2K special up this afternoon. See you beautiful souls in the next video.